You're used to watching the weather on the news, but what goes into assembling that forecast? Let's pull back the curtain on the whole process. Let me show you where we start our day. A couple of hours before the newscast begins, we pull up the latest weather data on this computer. Before we look into what the weather will be, we want to get an idea of what's happening right now. That means pulling up the latest satellite and radar and observations of the atmosphere from the surface up to jet level. Once we have a good idea of the current conditions, we can move on to the forecast. We look at data from multiple forecast models that each provide a possible weather scenario. The farther out you look, the more models tend to show conflicting forecasts. Think of it as a game of Plinko. We'll call it Forecasto. There are many paths for the forecast to take, but each step depends on the path beforehand. Despite all of the possibilities, a single model only gives you one solution. One small deviation could make a big difference. The closer to the event day, the fewer possible paths there are. Even so, there isn't one clear solution. As meteorologists, we take that variability into account and apply our understanding of the atmosphere to create a customized forecast. That room left for interpretation is why the forecast can sometimes look different from one source to another. Once we have our forecast together, we update the data in our system and customize the graphics for our newscast. Now it's time to do the weather segment. The magic happens here on the green screen. This replaces anything the color green with our graphics, so you won't find much green in a weather person's closet. A meteorologist doesn't read off of a teleprompter. When we look at the prompter, we see what people at home see. We have these monitors on either side of us so that when we turn profile to the camera, we can see where we're pointing. And that's what's happening behind the scenes when you're watching the weather.